Okay guys, so it doesn't appear to be it's going to take like 2 hours to get there, but right now it's 4:46, and a ride that would usually take about 17 minutes is going to take me 31 minutes. Oh, stand up straight. See the habitual thing, put this thing there. This recordings are going to be about, got one of these two, energy to deal with the road, as well as made some groceries today. So this song is going to be about how the inner critic that a lot of ADHD people have. Maybe even, also autistic people. But that was of benefit in hunter-gatherer days, because we got this gene from our hunter-gatherer ancestors. We got it from the hunter-gatherer ancestors. We were the best hunters and the best gatherers. That's why we get sensory overwhelm, because we get all the sensory input that comes from the environment, because we've got that DNA from our ancestors that picks up all the sensory things like the crackle.
Continue on State Highway 2 for 1.5 kilometers.
The crackling of the bark, the scent in the air, the smell, all the other senses of all these other animals and like snakes and, but now that in this specific environment, it's of a disadvantage because it's all the other senses coming in.
In 600 meters, continue straight to stay on State Highway 2.
Due to, I'm driving a car, so we have to adapt because we live in this society, in a car, and, all the lights and the sounds, and some sounds are very relaxing though, obviously. We have our favourite sounds. When I was younger, I liked that. Doom, doo doo. I still do. It's just not a go-to. And so, society will say, that's very bad that you have an inner critic, but you must be in the wrong because.
Continue straight to stay on State Highway 2.
And when people, like this girl, and I said it politely because she doesn't.
Continue for 14 kilometers.
Again, it's the whole weighing on the self-esteem that comes from a whole society that doesn't appreciate your symptoms, and it doesn't really kick into play. Well, it's like you're fighting against it as a teenager or something, but then it becomes a very hard thing to not accept the ableism of society, and then you become an inner ableist. Now, obviously, we don't get along with everyone, but I think it's found that hard about what is. I didn't like about that guy who nitpicked me. I didn't have an issue with him, but I haven't seen him since. The guy from Amagad, a couple of months ago. But for me, it's just this. It's very important to have in a survival of the fittest environment, and I suppose we still have that mindset. It's just that all of our so-called symptoms.
There's 6-minute congestion on State Highway 2 in 3 kilometers. You are still on the fastest route.
Yep. So that means I'll be arriving at about 5:15 at the Z gas station, and 2 blocks walk, and then the ADHD weekly group meeting meets at 6 p.m. Even though these people don't come visit me in my home and stuff, it's still very good, because you just focus what you have in common. And if there's a couple, you know what I mean. anyways, damn, I took off quickly and I forgot to bring my jacket. Might be a bit colder, but maybe there might be a bit warmer. But then there's also an inside option, but you don't want to be going inside if everyone else is outside. We were inside on 2 times I went to it, but we've been outside for the other 4. So yeah, the inner critic was for survival. You can't make this mistake, because if you make this mistake, there's the snake there that can bite you. You might give alert to the elephants, or you might give alert to the Lion Mountains, or the cheetahs, or the lions, and then it could be the destruction of your village. Or you might give it alert to some animals that you're hunting, and you might miss out on food for the day. Your crew of 30 to 50 hunter-gatherers, both male and female, are going to miss out on eating for the day. Going to be missing out on all these things because you made this mistake. And in that society, that is a very, very good thing to have. The aim for utter perfection, because you're going to miss out on all these things if you don't have it. But in today's society, they say, sit down, be still, don't speak unless you're basically going to parrot the same thing that the other person is saying, or, you don't have the same way of communicating as the high majority of people. And, you just, See that girl at the Pack and Save, when I said, she's got a lot of energy, hasn't she, as an encouragement. She's the same one that when she saw me at the entranceway, she wanted me to go first, and I told her to go first, because I had the feeling that she'd probably been told to put everyone else ahead of herself in her life, and it's like, no, it's not good. Because again, like attracts like. So anyway, this woman was telling this teenage Māori girl, to keep still, keep still, stop talking so much, and to calm down and stand in one spot and stop pacing back and forth when they were trying to pay for food at the grocery store. And that's what I used to do, and I sometimes I used to always pace back and forth, even when we're just waiting for it to be paid for, even when I was adult. Like, I used to like putting it up there onto the conveyor belt to help the person, to keep myself preoccupied, because otherwise I'd be pacing back and forth. And so I would do that to keep myself preoccupied. And the other person, the server, the customer service person, thought I was being kind and compassionate, which I was, because I knew I was helping them. But I was also helping myself too by, keeping myself preoccupied by bringing all the food across. And I know you can use the conveyor belt, but whatever. There's pros and cons to everything, but in this society, it's not made for us. But we can still make a great life out of it. We can still make a pretty decent life. You could say, I've come here to chew bubblegum and kick some ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. I came across that scene, and I watched the scene and the scene before and the leading up and the scene afterwards, and I was like, oh my god. An extreme version thereof. See you. Time's about